What if I were to tell you that the term anything is possible is almost a real statement? Now look, I know not everything is possible. Like I can't just fly around the world really fast at supersonic speeds. I can't go to Hogwarts. I can't go to Middle Earth. Or can I? While everything isn't possible, everything I just said is possible with a VR headset. And I know exactly what you're thinking. The quiet kid needs to touch some grass. That thought is exactly why I'm making this video. I went around collecting data to see how other people thought of VR. I ended up talking to 14 people and the stats are pretty interesting. First question was about how familiar you are with VR. And out of the 14 people, the average ended up being 4.9 out of 10. The average confidence with the future of VR ended up being around a 5.6. Now, this next question was, is VR too expensive for what you get out of it? 6 people said no, but a majority 8 people said yes, it is too expensive. I think the one thing that ruined this perception is the Apple Vision Pro. Right now, this headset is going for $3,500. This is insane when you find out that Meta just released a headset that can do almost everything this one can for $300. I know looking at graphs is pretty boring, but I just have one more to show you. This graph shows what everyone wanted to see in VR. About 14% of the people said they wanted to experience real or fantasy places. Around 21% of the people said either enhanced interactivity, improved VR development, or social interaction. Lastly, just under half the people wanted it for educational purposes or entertainment purposes. Now for the fun part. I would like to show you that all of these things are very much possible in the realm of VR. Horizon Worlds is a really good example of social interaction. For example, and yes, this is actually real and I cannot believe this, but I was invited to a wedding party. People were discussing things in their little groups, going around, talking to other people, and the weird thing is, it kind of takes you out of VR. It really does feel like you're at an actual social event. There were times where I actually felt antisocial while I was in VR. The things that are already here though are amazing. This is me throwing a virtual ball around in my real life room. VR development has improved exponentially over the past few years. This is Horizon Worlds, and you can build whatever you want in there using simple shapes. Getting into Meta's creator program allows you to import assets from your computer into the game. This means people can just import anything they want from their computer and you'll see it in VR. Entertainment might be the most popular thing in VR right now because you can watch whatever you want, wherever you want. I'm sure you've seen videos of people walking around with VR headsets or on a plane with a VR headset. Well, that's because it's very much possible to watch things on your headset. People don't think about the fact that 3D movies work in VR. So you can be watching a 3D movie and it looks like it's popping out at you. Another thing you could do is bring VR into education. There are already many VR meetings happening, which means you could be in a shared space with many people. If you need to show that group something, you can either put it on the wall as a picture, or if it's 3D, you can just show them in their space. Some jobs are pretty dangerous to learn, so if you learn it in VR first, then once you do the real thing, you'll know how to do it. A lot of people love the idea of full-body VR suits, so you can feel everything in the game, and while technology is not quite there yet, there is definitely full-body tracking. Now for my favorite topic. This includes experiencing real or fantasy places, like movies or video games. A lot of people wanted to see Ready Player One, and are there worlds like that? Yeah, sure, there are, but there are also thousands of other worlds to explore as well. Like, you could be Kermit the Frog in Squid Game.
Shouts out green light. Stop when it shouts red light. If your movement is detected afterwards, you will be eliminated.
Green light! Red light!
Here are some games you can be in as well. I think the best part about VR though is the quality you can get in your headset. It really feels like you're stepping into the world of whatever you're going into. There's thousands of fantasy places you can go to, especially in VR chat and Horizon Worlds. But what about real places? Well, there's Google Earth VR for that. First, we gotta get out of this art building. You can actually go to anywhere on the planet. Places you've always wanted to go. Places that look oddly familiar, like you've seen it in a video game before. One of the coolest parts is changing the time of day. You can also go to Street View, like this. You can go anywhere on the planet and feel like you're actually there. So, a place that you've always dreamed of, like the art building. Or places you know you'll never go, like the gym. The possibilities are truly endless. I hope this video is able to show you that there are actually some really cool things in VR. While I'm not necessarily saying you should go buy one today or anything, what I am saying is this technology will get better and better as the years progress, so what you're seeing is technically the worst it'll ever be. So if you were to say anything is possible, I would say yeah, I agree.